Guys, please put your attention here. I'm recording this session. During our last session, during our last session, everyone, please, during our last session, we have installed Jump server, and then by Jump server, we saw that we can go to localhost and then PHP my admin. If you go there, localhost PHP my admin, if you go there, what is the problem here? Localhost PHP my admin, right? Slash is already there. So let me put all of this localhost PHP my admin. If I go there, I'll be able to see this database we have created. Under this database, we have this table where we have data, right? And then from our Selenium, what we did, we have written code, right? We have written code, and what our code was doing, if I execute the code, it will be showing the data. Whatever data I have, right? Whatever data I have there, it will be showing the data. Now, as you can see that we have how many rows there? We have 4 rows, but we can see only how many rows in our execution? How many rows we can see? 2. Why? We can see only 2 rows because we have a custom query here. What is that custom query? Select star from test table where stud name like, can you see we have the wildcard, we have the wildcard here, stud name like Selena percentage. Yeah, sure. Coding. So here, so what it is doing, it is reading data from the table and showing it here in the front end. Now if I remove this custom, if I remove this, let me know when it is good for you guys. Is it good? Good now? Okay. Now if I remove this custom query here, right, now it will be bringing all of the data from this table, right? You can see that it is bringing all of the data, right? Now, so here up to this, the data is in the backend in the database. We are reading it by from the data. So this is one part of the backend testing. That is, the data is in the database. You read it. What is the other part of the backend testing? You compare the data to the front end in the application, right? This data we have read it from the database, but this data that we are reading from the database, this data actually are for front end. Front end, what does it front end means? From the, for the application website, this data should be displayed in the website. Now last night I created a website, sample website with this data. I'm going to bring that website here. Let's say that if you go there, if you come here and type for localhost, and then I have a load testing app index.php. Can you see this? Load testing app index.php. If you go there, can you see? This is the front end. No, first see here, it is not there. It is not there because it is a custom front end code that I just developed for this to give example. I'll be giving it to you, but it is not there in your computer yet. So can you see localhost backend testing app index.php, and that is where I'm displaying this data from the table. Now can you see the data is matching, right? If you go there, if you come here in this, if you come here and change it, right? If you do an update, let's say that we just want to one name, right? Where let's say stud id equal to 100. Stud id equal to 100, we are going to change name. Let's say I do not need this. I do not want to do anything with the stud id. I do not want to do anything with the dob. I just want to change name. And what name I want to give? I want to give let's say, do you have any preferable name? Let, let's put Joe Biden. Yeah, it's a good name. Now you execute it. Now you execute it. So is it saying that it is updated, or there are, yeah, there are a problem. So okay, now if you go to browse, now the name is changed here. But if you go there, it is not changed here. The application itself, which is reading data from the database, is not changed. But if you refresh now, you will see that the data will be changing here as well. Changing because this data we are reading it from the database and showing in the front end. This is the front end. I have developed a front end. I'll show you the code. The code you do not have to understand. So here your understanding point is the data is in the database. We are showing it in the front end in a website. This is a website, right? This is a website. You saw that when you change something in the backend, it is changing here. And what is that? Can you see backend testing app index.php? Index.php. Can you see this? Index.php. That is where all of my code is. That is reading data from database and showing it here in the application. This is a website, test website. Make sense? Now, let me go there. So if you come here and you will see that I have in my C drive, right? I have this XAMPP. Guys, look here. I have this XAMPP, right? Inside XAMPP, and can you see in the URL what do I have? Backend testing app. Can you see this backend testing app? Yeah, can you see backend testing app? No, this is not the name in the database. This is a application folder. Can you see? There is a folder here, XAMPP, and then inside there is a folder called htdocs. Can you see htdocs? Inside htdocs, look at here. Look at here. Inside XAMPP, there is a folder called htdocs. Inside htdocs, right? Can you see backend testing app? There is another folder. Inside that I have index.php. Now open this index.php. You will see this is the code basically displaying that website. This is the code that we have written to bring the data from the database and show it in the front end. Can you see this is a website? I'm creating a connection again in the code by code to the database. Can you see this is my root and username? I'm creating a connection and showing this data in the database in the front end. So this is the code. You do not have to understand anything on this code. This is what developer does. This is not your work. This is what developer does. So this code is there. So this code, what it does, it will show you this data in the front end. No, actually you do not have that folder. I'm going to give you that code so that you can execute it, and it will be showing the data in the front end. Now, so what you will have to do, everyone, now you go to, I'm going to give you that code. Basically, I'm going to give you that code, but before I give you this code, so what is that code again? Let me show you this code. People who are watching the video, for them, this is the code that you will have to have. I'll be putting this code in my blog, right? This is the code basically you will have to have. Now Let me just go there. So what you will have to do, go to your C drive, follow me, go to your C drive, and then can you see the XAMPP folder, XAMPP? Yeah, go there, and inside that you will see there is a folder called htdocs, docs, yeah, htdocs. htdocs. Now you create a folder, new folder called backend testing app. Create a new folder, backend testing app. Backend testing app. জাম্পের ভিতরে এই গো htdocs folder, backend testing app. htdocs এ যাওয়ার পরে তুমি এখানে একটা create a new folder called backend testing app. And you have to create it. You have to create a folder. H, press H. Got it? Mhm. So here there are PHP, HTML both. So to create that code, like last night I have to spend around 3 hours on this. 3 hours to create this small application that will be reading data from database and showing it in the front end. So I'm going to send you this code now. Back create display data from DB front. Okay, now let me associate this from there. So where is my code? It is inside my C drive. There is a folder called sump, and then what is that, htdocs, and then backend testing app. So put this file index.php there. Everyone put it there. So if you go back, let me give you a quick explanation of this code index.php, what is happening. So index.php, as you can see from the extension, this is a PHP file. PHP is a web development server-side language, right? PHP, by using PHP, you develop websites, right? Now inside index.php, if you take a look, let me open it if you take a look index.php, can you see there? So I'm just removing this comment and just keep, now for my part I'm just removing this comment to make it clarified. Okay, now let's take a look. Okay, so now can you see what is my server name? Localhost. Where my code, like what is my server name? Localhost. If your database is in a different server, then you will have to give a different name here. What is your username? Root. And then can you see here we are creating a connection. We do not have a password for this root user. Guys, please put your focus here. And then after creating the connection, then can you see here we are selecting a database. And then can you see here we are putting this word student information. Guys, student information, and then we are putting that empty line, and then this code you do not need to understand. This is for development purpose. Now I want to show you one thing. If you take a look here in this localhost, right? Can you see the background for this student information? What is the color in the background? In the background, gray. Guys, last backbencher, please. So gray, right? Can you see? So if you go there in the code, and can you see here? I'm background color putting DDD instead of DDD. If you put FF, 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 you'll see that background color. Yeah, I'm putting FFF. Now it is white, right? The background has become white. Now look at here. You do not need to understand this, but I'm just giving you an example. Instead of this FF, last FF, right? দাঁড়াও একটু হ্যাং হচ্ছে মনে হয়। এখানে FF এর instead of FF I'm putting 00. Now you will see that hopefully it will give you a different color in the back. Can you see? Guys, look at here. Then if you put this in the back end, instead of FF, if you make this one 00, right? Now you will see a different color. RGB, RGB, red, green, blue, red, green, blue. So I have FF 0000. FF means red color. Now you come here. If you put here instead of FF, if you put 00 and then if you put FF, that means you are putting RGB. Red color 0, green color full, blue color 0. Now if you run it, so what background you should see? Green. Is it green background? Now I am going to do RGB, right? Give it a little bit time. Now I am going to put 0000 FF. Then what it should be? The background 0000 FF. Blue. Remember, this color sequence is RGB means RGB. First two digit for R, middle two digit for G, last two digit for F. F. It is not making sense to some of you. RGB. So that is how, like, you don't have to understand this code, but like sometimes you will see that developer are making change in the application. That's how they make the change in the application. They change the code itself. Understandable? RGBটা আবার বলি, তুমি দেখো এখানে কালারের কোড দেয়া হচ্ছে। We are giving the code of the color. Can you see? We are creating a span and we are giving background color. That is where we are giving background color. Okay, then if you give 00, color can be from 0, 1, 2, 3 up to F. Hexadecimal. In decimal, how many digit you have? In decimal, you have digit from 0 to 9. 0 to 9. There is another number system, octal, where you have number 0 to 8. Octal. There is a hexadecimal number system where you have from 0 to 16. There are 16 digits. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A, B, C, D, E, F. 16. There are 16 digits. You got it? So this color, we give it in hexadecimal. It can be from 0 to F. anything. You got it? So now this color sequence, first two digit is for R. Can you see? First two digit is, okay, look at here. If you try to understand, look at here. Let me see if I can zoom it. It seems in Notepad I cannot zoom it. Guys, look at my. Let me just in Notepad. Let me open it with another thing. No, thank you. Backend testing. Backend testing app index.php. Let me try to open it with another. Choose another app, and I'm choosing more apps. And then let's say I'm opening it with I mean WordPad they open. Let me open it with WordPad, and hopefully I'll be able to zoom it here. Okay, now can you see better? Now can you see better? Okay, so what I'm doing here, can you see that I'm creating a background color student information, right? Now here this DDD means gray, right? Now if you remember that 00, this first two digit is for red, this second two digit is for green, this two digit is for blue. Now if you make yeah 1 1, then it will be some kind of blue. Let me now execute it. You will see that here got, oh actually it has become some kind of RGB, red, green, black. Yeah, I think it is not blue, it is black. RGB, red. See, basically all of the color, all of the color is the combination of three color: red, green, black. Red, green, black. So how you red, green, black? Wait one second. RGB, red, green, yeah, red, green, blue. That is correct. So red, green, and blue. So we get all other color from the combination of these three colors. Makes sense? Now, so if you make all of this value here, if you make all of this value F, right? Then it becomes, if you make all of this F, all of this 6-digit F, right? If you make all of this 6-digit F, if you make all of this F, then it becomes white. The white color is combination from this. If you put everything extreme, then it becomes white. You will see that now. If you save and execute it here, if you come to the application, 0 to F. So it seems, let me see if it is in Notepad. What do I see? So it seems it is not updating. If I go there and if I open it with Notepad, F, right? It's not updated. Okay. If it is F, 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 it should be white. So if I go there, one second, তুমি যদি এখানে ff0000 দাও, তাহলে এখানে যদি আসো, আমাদের এটা মনে হয় একটু বন্ধ করে চালু করতে হবে। লোকাল হোস্ট index.php, so strong file save. And আমার এখানে something problem হচ্ছে, so let me now. Good now. So can you see ff means what? F, the first color is red, for red. Ff means it is red. Now if you come here, can you see it is red? Now if you go there and keep, let's say you put 00 and then you put ff here, then what it is? Now what are we doing? We are making it green. In the middle it stands for green. Now you come here, green, right? Now you want to make it blue, so what you need to do, here you put ff and the middle to ff you put 00. You come here, now it will be blue. Make sense? Now let's say that you want to make it something red and blue, so you are making this, right? So you are putting combination of red and blue. You will see the color will be, it's kind of violet. Okay, green and blue combination. Now can you see it is kind of, if you want to make it lighter, then instead of ff you put 66 here, lighter. I mean not so hard color, you put let's say 66. You will see that now it will be same color but it will be lighter. If you now, can you see it is a little bit darker? Let's say if you want to go, if you want to make it a little bit more visible, you put 6 AA here, right? Green. Now if you go there, you got it? That's how the, this is not your part, this is not your part. Now let's come to the point. So what is happening, it is writing this data here, and it is putting table header here, right? Now our goal is to compare this front end data with the back end. Whatever we are saying in the front end, we want to compare it with the back end. Now here we have code. This code is for what? This code is for reading the data. This code is for reading the data from the database. Now I'm going to write code to open the application front end. So it is handling the back end. Now I am going to write code here. So if you want to open the application, you'll have to bring Java library here. Is that correct? This code we do not have Java library. So I'm going to go to build path, configure build path, and then libraries, add external jars. না ওইটা এই প্রজেক্টে এটা আমরা অ্যাড করি we did it only for backend reading we have added some library for so that we can read data from backend not the java library oh these are for MySql no not my yeah you are right we need to add selenium libraries where do I have selenium libraries if I go there you will see that where do I have selenium libraries this one right these selenium libraries need to be there you got it everyone if you want to use website if you want to interact with the website what you will have to do guys you will have to have selenium libraries got it now we'll be able to use selenium libraries so we are going to say system dot set system dot system dot set property right system dot set property now if you want to run it in Chrome what is the what will you have to write here driver dot Chrome driver dot driver is that what you will have to write here webdriver dot Chrome dot driver and here you will have to provide the path of your Chrome driver where your Chrome driver is for me let me see where my Chrome driver is so I think my Chrome driver is inside that Selenium folder this one right I'm going to take this path and then you put here what is your Chrome driver.exe right and then now you can put you can you can declare a WebDriver object right web driver and then let's say drb obj equal to new Chrome driver right so you will have to bring what you have to import the header okay okay and then let's bring this WebDriver right now you can use this drb obj to open the URL what is the get and what is the URL of your application who can tell me the URL for your application is localhost this is your URL right I'm going to copy it from here and then I'm going to put it here good after this okay. Let me see if I run it how does it look like now let me run this code is showing some error what error java lang illegal the path to the driver executable must be set by so system dot set property webdriver Chrome driver dot driver webdriver Chrome dot Chrome dot driver so let me just run it one more time okay now the application is coming the application if you do not have jump will it be coming no you understand right everyone now the application is coming if you want to highlight anything you can do it whatever you want Yeah, this one is coming from the for the backend testing. Now what you will have to do, you'll have to read this data from compare with the backend. You got it? Okay. So let's say guys, here if you inspect this element, I'm just inspecting this 100, right? You inspect one more time. Okay, this 100. Can you see this 100? What is that 100? Is a TD. TD, right? Now, if you do right click and then copy and then XPath, you understand what I'm doing? Copy and XPath, and then here in your code, here in your code, if you do something like this, let's say that what is our driver object? drv obj dot find element and by dot xpath. And what is your xpath? I copied the xpath from there. I'm just putting this xpath here. Now, so let's say auto generate xpath is not a favorable. It's not favorable. Yeah, this one here, it is not absolute. Can you see that it is taking from id, from the id of the table? So again, this is relative xpath to xpath. Now guys, look here. So if I say dot, and then if I say get text, what will happen? Now if you, so what will it will be getting the text from that object, and then if you do a system out println, system dot out dot println, okay, you'll have to put inside everything in the printer. Now let's put a, okay, let's put a breakpoint here now. So what will happen? It, I think we are already can you see now? Junai? Can you see now? Now we have a breakpoint here in line number 20. Now what will it do by line number 19? Can anyone tell me? Uh-huh. So in line number 19, we are saying for this particular element, print the text. For this particular element, print the text. Understood? Now, what will it print? What is the text of that element? 100. Does it make sense? If you do not understand, let me know. So I'm going to run it one more time. Okay. Now, so actually, oh, actually, if I run it, it will be going all the way. I'll have to debug it. Now you'll see that here, can you see it has printed 100? How? You understand how it was able to print that 100? Now let me do a debug. Instead of run, let me do a debug. I'll show you. Now let me do a debug. I have a breakpoint, so switch. So I have the breakpoint, so it will be stopping here. But before that, can you see it has printed 100? How? So if you take a look, তোমরা একটু দেখো, so if you inspect it, right, if you inspect it, it is 100, right? তোমরা একটা জিনিস বুঝো, প্রথমে এটা একটা, এই যে এই জিনিসটা, হোল জিনিসটা দেখতেছো, এই the whole thing here, it is a row. Can you see? From here to here, the whole thing is a row. Inside the row, we have TD means table data. Now can you see, I have started a TR, and then I have a TD, another TD, another TD, and then the TR is ending here. This is my TR starting, this is my TR ending, and in between I have 3 TD. How many TD do I have? How many TD do I have? 3. Inside what? Inside a TR. Make sense? Then can you see I have another TR here? If you expand this, can you see this is the second row, and I have the data, and then I have another TR. Can you see? You understand how this table goes? Is it clear? This is the HTML that we have written over there. Okay, now see what I am doing. So here in my code, if I stop it, here in my code, let me close this. So now the data that we are, last day we read the data from the database. Now the data that we are reading from the front end. Now we are reading from the front end, and front end is reading the data from back end, from the database. Do you understand this, everyone? Okay. So hopefully that these topics will help you a lot in backend testing, like when there is a question in the interview, what is backend testing? Now let's say that if I put here TD instead of TD1, if I put TD2, what will happen? It will be printing out the name. So let me do another debug here. Actually, for now, to keep it, yeah, let me debug one more time. Let's keep it there. Now can you see it is printing Jubair? You understand? From the first row. Now if I want to read name from the third row, what will I have to do? From the third row, guys, take a look here. What is my goal? Goal is to read data from the third row. So this is the TD, this is the TR. You need to put here TR. No, TD means table data. Inside the TR, you have the TDs. Inside the TR. Let me show you again. Look here. Look this. Can you see? You have TR. You have TR, and then inside the TR you have TD, and the TR ending. Then you have another TR where we have Abu Mansur data, and then we have another TR, and then we have another TR. Inside the TR we have the TDs to help to save the cell data. You got it? Make sense? Now, so if you come here, if I put 6, what will happen? We do not have, so it will be throwing error. You will see that now you will get error. Now if you debug it, it will be throwing error because we do not have 6 row, we do not have it. Now let's see where we are. It will be throwing an error basically. It is waiting here, and you will see that finally it will be showing an error that I didn't get the 6th row. We have only how many rows? 5 rows. 5 rows, right? You'll see it will be throwing an error. And then I'm going to change something to show you another interesting thing. We are talking about, okay, if the application change, then what will happen to my automation? If the developer change the automation, right? We have a lot of concern that if the developer change the application itself, what will be happening to our code? That is what we are going to do. Okay, so this execution, it will be throwing an error soon. It is trying to basically get the corresponding data, but it will not get it. So it will be throwing an error. Is it already there? So it is not able to handle it. Let me stop it. We know that it will not work, right? So what will happen if you put, guys, if I put here 5 row 5, and if I say td3, what will it bring? Row 5 td3. No. There is no row 5. Chapter, right? So I'll have to go, I can go up to 4. Now if I put 4 and td3, Junad, you tell me what will it bring? So let me show you the table. This is the table. Can you see? I put row number 4 td3. What will it bring? Row number 4, definitely this. Row number 4 is this 103, this one, right? And td3, what is td3? This is, try to understand, this is td1, this is td2, this is td3. You got it? So what will it bring? The birth date 03/04/2004. Understood, everyone? Now let me run it. Now if I run it, actually debug it. Continue. Okay. Can you see 03/04/2004? You understand this? Okay. Now I'm going to make that interesting change. My code, it is good, right? So let me just continue and stop this execution. Now I'm going to make change in the code to put you in trouble, to put all the testers in trouble. Okay, so what I'm going to do in my backend testing app, look, everyone please look here. In my backend testing app, that I have in WordPad, can you see I have an ID here? When I'm creating this table, can you see here I am creating the table? Can you see this, Junaid, including everyone? Can you see this? The table has an ID. What is the ID? Test table. Now I am putting test table 1, 2, 3. I'm putting the ID. What is the ID? What is the ID that I'm putting? Test table 1, 2, 3. You understand this? Okay. Now I'm going to save it. Save test table 1, 2, 3. Now you go there. Close all of this. So this application I have opened it previously, right, guys? Now if you inspect this, if you inspect one more time, actually, can you see that this table? What is the ID of this table? Test table from the previous run. Now if you run it one more time, here, if you run it one more time, debug it. you will see that our code will not work. Okay, can you see it is not able to bring any data here? It is waiting. Can you see it is not? It's supposed to bring that date of birth 0304 whatever is there, right? But it is not able to bring anything. It is waiting. And if you go to the application, and if you inspect this table, what ID do you see? Test table 1 to 3. The developers have changed the application. Now what will you have to do? Can you see? You are using a syntax here in your code. Can you see here? ID test table. Can you see this? Here you will have to make change. If you make change, it will be working again. So you come here, you put 1, 2. Now if you run it one more time, right? Continue. Now if you run it one more time, you will see the data will be there. I didn't debug it. Can you see? If you go all the way up, can you see the data is printing? Now, have you understood this table concept, TD concept, TR concept? Yeah, what is the question? So, if you take a look, when we are by XPath, right? Look guys, this is another understanding point. By XPath, can you see T body? The way table goes, first table and then T body. First what? First table. And under table we have T body. If you take a look, if you go to the inspecting point here, look here. First, can you see first this table, right? If you minimize everything, everything gone. So starting point is table. Now make it bigger. And after that, what is T head? T head is not in the hierarchy. T head is, can you see? That is where T head. But T head is not part of it. Can you see after that? T body. If you minimize T body, do you see anything? No. If you expand T body, then you see TR. Now, in our XPath, take a look here. First TD, and then who is the parent of TD? TR. Who is the parent of TR? T body. Who is the parent of T body? The table itself. Who is the parent of T body? Who is the, if you go one step up, who is the parent for the T body? Table. What is the ID of this table? Test table. You got it? So now here, when initially it was test table. So can you see T body? And here we are giving the ID of the table itself. And when we are giving, initially it was test table. Now it is test table 1 to 3. We have changed. Did I answer your question? Not yet? Sure. Okay. Where is the error, right? So it will be giving you error that this XPath, Rachel, it will be giving you error that the XPath cannot be found. The XPath cannot be found. Now you need to inspect what is the problem with the XPath. So what is the problem with XPath? You can go there and copy the XPath again and put it here. You can compare. So let's say that what was the, let's say now our code is not working and we are not sure what to do, right? So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to application and I'm going to inspect, and then for this, what I was trying to read the last row, this dub, correct? Is that correct? Now you copy XPath, and then you open a notepad. So this is the latest XPath. What was the previous XPath? The previous XPath was this. This is the previous XPath, and that is the latest XPath. Now, if you put it, can you see any difference? You got it? Understand where to differences, and like what will be your mitigation point. That's how. And if the developers make changes to your table, that is how you take care of it. You got it? Now, so I showed you how you can read data from table, how you can read data from front end, and how you can read data from back end. We didn't do the comparison yet. This comparison part I am leaving on you. So this week you work to see if you can make the comparison. Okay, make sense? আপনি ব্যাকএন্ড মনে করেন আপনি ব্যাকএন্ড থেকে যে ডাটাটা পাচ্ছেন, is it matching with the front end? So we can read front end data like this, and then we have read backend data here, right? This is from backend data. Huh? Yeah, sometimes it will not match. We just print out. We didn't do the comparison. You have to do the comparison by assert or if statement. You got it? We have just read data, print it here, but we didn't do the comparison. This is your homework. So I recorded it. I'll be sending you the recording. Okay? So guys, the problem here, we saw that we are directly reading data from the backend and displaying it. Sometimes you read data from backend, do some processing, and then display it. Or when you are displaying it, let's say, let me show you a situation where it will not be matching. Let me show you. So I'm doing a little bit modification again there. You will see that now the issue it creates. Okay, so if I come here, টেস্ট টেবল, এই যে তুমি যখন বুঝি কোশ্চেনটা আবার রিপিট। এটা তো টেবিল নাম না, এটা টেবিল। রিমেম্বার দ্যাট the front end object, we are giving an id to the front end object. Remember, when you identify object from the front end, then you can use id, name, class name, xpath. We are giving an id of that object. You got it? Is it here? Can you see table id? When we are creating the table, we are giving an id of the table. id, so we are giving an id with the table so that we can identify it. Got it? Now, so what will happen if you put, now let me run it. Guys, take a look here. Now if you bring this application, so if you refresh it, refresh the application. One second, let me bring it. Localhost now if I bring this code again, localhost. Putting it there once again. It's not there. So td is value and then tr. So now what is happening? Now will it be matching with the backend? Now data is coming like this. Now is it we see the will it be matching with the backend? Why? Why it will not match with the backend? Because it's with the backend data it is showing additional data. Got it? So when you read data from backend, there is in many cases when you do backend testing, there is a purpose. You will see data is not matching some of the data. There are internal reasons. One of the reason I'm just showing you an example. Now if you compare, will it be matching? Can you see the difference between we are reading data from backend, but it is modified. Understandable? So sometimes you will have a situation that data is not matching. Is it clear? Or you have further question? Huh? So how will you understand this? So when you compare, you saw that we can read data from each of this cell. We can read data from each of this cell. You understand this, right? And then you can read data from the backend table. Now you'll have to do comparison. If this equal to this, or you'll have to put assertive statement. You got it? How, right? So what you'll have to do here, you'll have to, let me remove this 2. Okay. Now I'll leave this one on you. Do some thinking. See if you can do it. If you cannot do it, I'll be doing it in the next class. Right? In the next class, I'll be doing it, and after doing this, I'll bring UFT. We'll have 3-4 session on UFT. You got it? So this comparison part, right? You are reading data from backend, you are reading data from frontend. This comparison part I'm leaving for you. Do it and send it to me. And if you cannot do it, we'll discuss it. I'll give you explanation in the next class. Good? Up to this, good? Any further question? But if you do not practice it, you will be forgetting almost everything when you come next class. So you want to look at this recording, you want to go through and you complete this code before you come to the next class. Right, guys? No, no, no. Yeah. So the homework is you compare this data now. I show you the capability. If you look here again. I show you the capability now. You can read data from the front end by this type of code. And in the last class, you have learned how to read data from backend. Now, did we do the comparison so far? No. You do this comparison. This is your homework. So compare like from the backend when you read, you are getting a record set and you are getting string 1, string 2, string 3. It is matching with front end TD1, TD2, TD3. So you did this comparison here. So what will happen here, guys? Let's say, let me give you a little bit. I think some of you are still in confusion. So you come here. and then if you put tr1 td1, then what will it bring? It will bring the stud id. So I'm declaring a variable string stud id from fe, from front end, equal to, you got it? What I'm declaring a variable and I'm bringing the stud id from front end, right? And then can you see here I'm reading this one, right? This one is from backend, you got it? So I'm putting it here. Declare another variable here, string stud id from backend equal to this. Now you have data from front end, data from backend, and then you do a assert dot do you have testng here? No, that's why it is not bringing. So let me bring testng library here. Compare জন্য test unit testing. So if you go to Java build path, so here actually if you একটা statement, let me write one statement, assert dot হ্যাঁ ক্লাসটা মেইন মেথড assert dot এখন দেখি তুমি যদি এখানে আসো assert equals. Okay, so testng, let's say if you put here at test, right? Now you'll be able to bring all of the testng library. Can you see testng library? So now testng library, and then let's do one more time, import test. I do not need to bring test, but I just wrote that so that I can bring testng library. Now if you come here, you will see that import assert. Can you see import assert? And then you say assert dot assert equals, right? What do you want to compare? Yeah, stud id from front end and then stud id from back end, right? Now what is happening with this rs obj dot next? So when we are reading from backend, it is taking one row at a time, one row at a time. So here every time when you are putting one, that means it is getting data from first row, right? So this, instead of first row, you'll have to make this a variable. You'll have to put a variable here. Like when you are reading data from the first row, then you are comparing with the first row. When you are reading data from the second row from the database, then you compare the second row. So this part you see if you can do it. There will have to be a little bit logic. If you cannot do it, we'll discuss it further in our next class. Got it? What is that? Yeah, you'll have to put a breakpoint here, and then you'll have to iterate through. Yeah, 3 times, yes, fine. So what is happening here, guys? Yeah. So let me tell you one thing, guys. Look. Let's bring one variable int I equal to 1. I equal to 1. And here, can you see this row? If you put 1 every time, it will be only reading from row 1. But you do not, when you are reading from database, you are reading first row, second row, third row, fourth row, however many have. So what you will have to do here, you will have to put I. Instead of 1, you will have to put I. So how will you do that? Again, how will you do that? You will have to put double quote, and then you will have to put plus. You will have to put plus, and then you will have to put that I. Yeah, expath er bhitore you can put variable double quote, because this is one string. This is one string. Yeah, we learned that in the previous classes. So first row, if you bring the first one, first data, it is your ID, and then you can declare another variable shift n, right? Here you can put first row. If you put 2, what will it bring? If you put 2, it will be bringing the name. I'm putting row 0, but td2, it will be bringing the name, so it will be stud name. Got it? From front end. হ্যাঁ, এখন দেখো এখানে আমরা, so what we are going to do here, every time 1 is done, we are going to put I++, for I equal to I plus 1. So what will happen? No, it will be however many rows we have in the database, one by one, and compare each of it with the front end. And this loop, what is this loop doing? It is starting from the first row from the database and going row by row. You got it? So what is happening here? So we got the stud ID, we got the name, and then we have what? One more data. What is that? That is stud dob. And then what will be here? 3. We got 3 data, right? And now you write 3 assert. This is the first assert. This is the okay. Before I write this second assert, can you see when I'm saying stud ID from backend, right? And then what do I need to bring? Stud name from backend. And what is the index of this? 2. And then I need to bring stud dob from backend. And what is that? 3. And then here you will have to do stud name from backend. Actually, write it stud name, and then here stud name, and then from front end, let me make another copy. Here stud dob, right? Dob from, actually I have already done the work for you guys by asking question. You let me finish this job. Now if I run it, you will see that it will be basically doing the comparison. So actually uh, so there is a problem here. Can you see? It is throwing a problem. What is the problem? Let me take a look. ID tr4, right? Line number what? For this so here can you see this table is, this table is no longer table 1 2 3. We'll have to change it, or we'll have to change the code. So remember that we change it here, right? Let me remove this. Now let me run it. So this is a very advanced level topics, guys, for your understanding. If you do not understand it, that's totally fine. We are going to discuss one more time. This is a very advanced level topic. Hmm? Yeah, if statement. We can do if statement. Now let's come here. Can you see? Now comparison, everything is done without any error. It will not print anything because when you do assert, it doesn't print anything. But it has done the comparison. Let's say you will say if there is a mismatch, then it will print message. So let's say that if I say system out println system dot out dot println comparing, if you say comparing row, and then if you add that I variable here plus I. Now if you run it one more time, you will see that it is comparing this 4 row, however many rows we have, you will see that it will be showing that. Now can you see it is printing comparing row 1 2 3 4. That means we are doing the comparison. Got it? So I'm going to send you this recording. I'm going to your job will be make sure that you are understanding it. You do it at your home, write this code, understand it, and if you have any further question, come back to me with the question. I'm not going to send you this code, you have to write it. Okay, so this is the code basically, guys, for comparison between backend data and front end data. Yeah, I'll be sending it. Which one? Yeah, it is just, yeah, it's just output message. All right, guys, so I'm going to stop recording. I'll be sending you the recording, and obviously if you have any question, send me an email. Which one? No, no, you have nothing to do, just that will be giving you the front end. Thank you, guys.